Okay, once again, I want to say thank you for your participants for this session. So basically, thank you for your time okay, for this evening. So this morning we have a session with Dr. KJ, and then for this time being, we're going to continue our FSR Research Week. Okay, with my presentation regarding strategies to increase research visibility, and then we're also going to have some discussion on how to enhance research collaboration and also research publication among FSR researchers. So basically, today is the 4th of January, the first day of the FSR Research Week that we organize basically on annually. Okay, but for this time, okay, we are unable to organize it last year because of the time constraint, and then we are able to organize in the first week of January. So we have a lot of programs, okay, to all of you regarding research, information, and so on, so that all lecturers okay, can participate okay, in terms of how to produce a good papers, okay, how to select journal that have a very high impact factor and so on. And then we also have a research talk okay, by our staff in the faculty. And then this is just a bit of the overview of the research week that we have planned for this week. So basically this morning we invited Professor Datuk Haji Kamil Zaman Yusof. Okay, he's from UKM, so he is a very experienced researcher, and then has published a lot of papers, high impact papers, and then his citation is currently is more than 9,000 citation. So basically, he have provided a good info to us on how to look for the best journals okay, for us to publish, and then how to create motivation and so on in order to produce a good papers that will provide a good citation to us okay, as a researcher. So basically, we also have numbers of invited speakers that the speakers are from all over FSR campuses, okay, from Shah Alam, from Perlis, okay, from Pahang, from Negeri Sembilan, and also from Sarawak. So these reputable researchers okay, will share their knowledge on how okay, we can help ourselves as a lecturer in order to sustain okay, the workload okay, of a researcher and also as a lecturer, so that we still maintain okay, the capability of us as a researcher in order to produce a very good papers okay, for the faculty and so on, and also for UITM. All right, I hope everyone okay, can hear me clearly. So basically, as a researcher in UiTM, okay,
Sorry, Dr. Hosni.
yes,
Boleh tak Dr. Hosni tolong mute Cik Bat? Sebab dia ada humming bila kita turn on mic sekarang. So saya off mic saya dengan... Okay, dah Cik Bat dah off dah. Okay,
okay,
thank you.
I already am mute cepat. Okay, thanks for the information. Okay, if I can continue, basically, we as a researcher in UiTM, okay, as alongside with our role as a lecturer, okay, basically everyone knows that as a lecturer we have to go to the class and then give some lectures okay, to our students. And then one of the another important role as a lecturer is that okay, we also have to produce papers and then getting involved actively in publication. So basically, once we did our publication, okay, we have to make sure that okay, our publication is very impactful, so that it will be a visibility to us as a researcher, and also visibility to the faculty, and also visibility okay, to the university of UiTM. So basically, so the tagline of the NCPI in UiTM, okay, which is be visible, so that we have to build ourselves, okay, we have to build our reputation as a researcher, so that okay, we can achieve okay, a very good impact okay, to us as a researcher, and also to the faculty itself, and also to the university. Okay, so that basically the impact of having visibility of our research is that we can increase the number of citation, so that will help okay, the faculty to achieve, for example, Myra reputation, and also to achieve, let's say, QS World ranking in terms of the subject ranking and so on. So I think last month there was I think a percolating from the NCPI. Okay, means that from that office, they come up with a new percolating to us as a lecturer in UiTM, so that we have to achieve a number of publication per year, for example. Okay, the number of publication that we have to achieve, okay, in a single year. So let's say if we see at this table, for example, okay, basically most of us in FSR, basically most of us, okay, in the Faculty of Sports and Recreation, okay, we are in the track teaching and learning, okay, for example. And then if we can see, okay, based on the our grade, our position, for example, let's say for those who are DM41, for those who are DM45 or 46, okay, DM51, 52, okay, for those who are in associate professorship and also in terms of professor, for example, okay, we have to achieve a specific number, okay, of publication in a single year. Okay, let's say if I take myself, for example, okay, right now I'm in a teaching and learning track, for example. So in a single year, okay, I have to publish at least one, okay, index journal, okay, that is listed either in Scopus, WS, or ERA. Okay, for those who have high ranking, okay, they have to publish more. So this is the number that we have to achieve in a single year. So basically, okay, this number is not that difficult to achieve, and then it is also not that easy to achieve. So it means that we need to have a kind of strategies, okay, in order how to achieve, okay, this magic number, okay, that will helps us, for example, in our promotion and so on. So basically the topic that I'm going to discuss, okay, for today, for this evening, for example, okay, we are going to make ourselves visible as a researcher, and then how does we are going to promote, okay, our research. So basically, okay, in a semester, for example, in every semester, we have a numbers of undergraduate students, okay, who are going to do FYP with us, and then for those who are really well known in terms of their research, they also have postgraduate student, for example. So basically, in a single semester, okay, you have a very good number, okay, of research that you have to supervise. So basically, this research that you have, okay, is very good, okay, for you to supervise, for example, and then if you can promote, okay, that research, so maybe in the long time, it will provide a very good impact, okay, to us as a researcher and also to the paper that we publish, so that we also can, okay, increase the number of citation, okay, to our profile, for example. So basically the outline for my presentation for today, so I'm going to talk about, okay, how to increase our research visibility, okay, in terms of when we are going to start the research, okay, when we are conducting the research, for example, okay, once we have got all the data, okay, we already start with writing, for example, okay, we also need to consider, okay, where does the paper will go, okay, which means that, okay, how to select, okay, the best paper, okay, for that particular article. And then in terms of paper submission, how to choose, for example, and then once the paper, okay, was published, okay, there are certain steps that we can do, okay, as a researcher, for example, okay, in terms of after publication process, okay, which means that how to promote, okay, this paper so that it can increase the visibility, and also it will attract the other researchers to cite our paper and so on. So basically, if you look at this picture over here, okay, there are a numbers of platform, okay, that we can choose in order how to promote our research in terms of before we're going to start the research, okay, when we are in the process of collecting data, for example, okay, once we have got the data and then we are in the process of writing, okay, once we have published the paper, we can use this kind of platform, okay, in order to to promote the paper, for example. So if we, as a starting point, when you're going to start your research, for example, maybe every one of you have registered with this platform. This platform is known as Open Researcher and Contributor ID, or ORCID ID. So basically, ORCID ID is the platform for us to connect our research output, and then we can share what we have published in a single ID. So basically, when we publish certain papers, let's say for me, I have a very simple name, Hosni Hasan, for example. So every time when I publish papers, I will use the appropriate name, for example, Hasan H, for example. So when I publish paper, I will register also with my author ID, so that every papers that I publish, will goes into my platform. So it means that, once I publish the paper, the audience, will notice that, this paper is belong to me, for example, because of I have a specific ID for all my research that I have been conducted. So once you register with the RTID, so next time, when you register, make sure every time you publish the paper, in a certain journal, they request the author to provide, the RTID. So it means that, this RTID will connect all the papers that you publish, in a single ID, so that it can increase, the likelihood, of us as a researcher to be cited, in the future, for example. When you want to start your research, for example, there is a student that comes to you, for example, and then they want to do, research under you. So it means that, you as a researcher, you already knows that, what is your field, for example. So when you know your field, maybe you have the target. Let's say on this year, I want to do on this topic. So basically, not all topics, will provide impact, throughout the year. So it means that you have to know, what are the specific topics, that is impactful, within your field, for example. Right. This also will attract future collaborators, so that it can increase, the likelihood, for us to get citation, from the others. So basically, uh, last year, the whole country in Malaysia and also all over the world, have been affected by COVID-19. So basically, maybe in your field, it's not that related to COVID-19, but if you can think something that regarding your field, how does it relates to COVID-19? So basically, if we work in this way, this also will increase the likelihood and also will increase the visibility, of the research that we're going to produce, and so on. And then point number 3 over here. Let's say you as the lead researcher, you as the lead researcher, of your research, and then maybe you want to add certain collaborators, for your research, and so on. So this one you have to consider, who will be your team partner. Let's say for me myself, maybe I'm good in my field of skill acquisition, but I'm not good in data analysis, for example. So maybe I will call some of my colleagues, to get involved in my research, so that he or she can provide some input, or provide some justification, provide some information, provide some suggestion, and also help me in writing the paper, for example, so that it can increase the impact, of the paper. So basically. And then regarding these collaborations, what I can extract from the workshop, that was given by Datuk KJ this morning, for example, Datuk Kamal Yusof. So basically, we are encouraged, to work with a team, for example. So don't work alone, because of when you have numbers of co-authors in your papers, for example, it will increase the likelihood of the impact and also the visibility of the papers, and also it will also increase the chances, for that particular paper to get cited, over time, in the long run, in that sense. So once we have considered, to register with OK ID, for example, and then you identify what is your specific topic, okay, in your field at that particular time and also situation. And then once we have considered your collaboration, for example, okay, and then you are able to start, okay, with the process of starting, okay, your research activities and so on. So basically, if I can add on regarding consider your collaboration, for example, okay, it is better to work in a team, and then it is better also if you have a cross-discipline team or members in your group, and then if you can work, okay, with other universities, and also if you can work, okay, within your local partners in Malaysia, and also with your collaborators from other countries. So these are the steps that you can take, for example, okay, when you want to start, okay, your research and so on. So basically, it's better to have a very good team, okay, that comprise of local collaboration, okay, from other universities and also from other FSR campuses. And also if you can have a very good connection, okay, with international researchers, okay, it's better for you to ask them, or you, if you want to invite them, okay, to be part of your research team, okay, in that sense. All right, once we have finished with starting the research, okay, now when you are doing your research, okay, during your research, okay, when you have got the data, for example, okay, maybe you are interested to participate, okay, in local or international conferences. So basically, this also can increase your research visibility in terms that okay, when you deliver your information, okay, regarding your research that you have conducted, okay, maybe there are some weaknesses that you are unable to find out, okay, among your team members that will be seen by the other researchers, for example. So basically, when we go to conferences either locally or internationally, okay, we are going to receive a valuable feedback, okay, from maybe from the audience, okay, that are very interested with our research, or maybe from the uh, specific interest, okay, let's say from sport association, for example, that will provide some information to us to provide some review, okay, for our research that we are going to conduct. So basically, okay, for to increase research visibility, okay, when you are doing your research, when you got data, for example, it's better for you to present your research findings, okay, at conferences. You can go to local or international event, okay, so this to increase your networking and to develop new collaboration. So before you write the paper, so maybe you notice that during your presentation there are some interest from other researchers, maybe they can give input to you, and then you can invite them okay, to be as part of your research team. So maybe this will increase the impact, okay, of the papers that you're going to publish later on. And then during my time, okay, when I did my research with my postgraduate students, okay, I love to provide technical report. Okay, technical report is means that okay, when you did your research, when you are doing your research, okay, usually when we collect data, okay, we're going to invite sports team, okay, to become participants in our research. So basically, once we got the data, for example, okay, we can provide a technical report, okay, to the team that we invited them to participate in our research. So basically, this also will create interest, okay, so to that particular person, and then it also can be a part of delivering information. Okay, how does, okay, the flow of research writing, for example, maybe when we provide technical report to that particular team, okay, we're going to have specific information on how does it can improve that particular participants and also can improve that particular team itself. So basically, here we also can provide technical report, okay, to that particular person that we invite him or her to become our participants, or we can provide the technical report to the coach itself, okay, for those who involved with the research in progress, okay, that based on the research that we use. And then maybe nowadays, okay, nowadays in the era of technology, for example, okay, for those who are still young, okay, they are get used to promote what they have done currently in social media and network, for example. We can see there are numbers of social media networks that we can use to promote our research. Let's say we can type in information on what are the current research that we do at that particular moment in the research gate. So basically, I think most of the participants over here have their own research gate profile. So we also can use Pavlons. We also can use academia.edu, for example, or we also can provide some information in our Twitter and also Facebook. So basically, this also will increase the visibility of our research on what we are currently doing, for example. So maybe at that particular situation, this will increase the likelihood for other researchers to provide some information to us that will give meaningful information for us to provide some review to our papers, and then we can produce a very good we also can produce a quality paper before we submit to the publisher, for example. So during my time when I did my PhD studies, for example, during when I finished my data collection, I went to numbers of local and also international conferences. So during these conferences, I received some feedback. So when I come back to the office, for example, I will review again the feedback that was received during my presentation, and then I will add in the information in my research. If I think that the feedback is very impactful, so I will include what is missing. What is the missing link, for example, that have to be included in my research paper. So basically, I've been to numbers of international conferences, let's say in Victoria University in Melbourne, for example. I also went to Copenhagen to present my research finding. And then last 2 years ago, I went to Finland to present my research findings. And not forgotten to local conferences that organized in Malaysia. For example, we have yearly conferences that we can go so that we can present our research information. If we can move further, so in this case, for example, this is the example of the technical report that I produced when I collect my data during my PhD studies. So when I got the data, I produced the technical report to the participants, and I also produced the technical report to the funder of my research, for example. So basically, during my studies, I received materials from this company, Zero Point. Zero Point Company is a company that produce sports apparel, based in Finland. So when I got the data for my research, I provide the technical report to them, and then they come up with this information in their brochure. So based on this brochure, this also will increase the research visibility of what are the research that I currently doing, and then what are the future direction that other researchers can do in the future. For example. All right, now we are moving to how to where to publish your journal, for example. Once you have finished with your data collection, for example, and then you are in the final phase of writing, for example. So basically, this is the most difficult part. For example, where does the journal should go? So basically, you have to bear in your mind that not every attempt that you submit to the publisher, it will be easily accepted. Sometimes you have to face the rejection process. Let me for myself, when I want to publish my research finding, I start with keyword papers and then got rejected, and then I try another journal. So every time I apply, when it got rejected, I will try to look for another journal that can substitute, in terms of the quality of that particular journal. So basically, we as a researcher, in UiTM, there are a numbers of platform, that we can look so that how we can target, the papers that we want to publish. So basically over here, maybe all of the participants here knows that, okay, as a UATM lecturer, okay, we have to publish paper every year, and then as the performance indicator for the faculty, okay, we have to publish papers, okay, which is indexed, okay, in Scopus, WOS, or ERA, okay, for example. So in order to look for that particular journal, okay, you have to look that journal in a particular database, okay, that we have readily available, okay, for us, okay, so that we can look really, okay, in terms of where to look that particular journal, okay, what is the aim and scope of that particular journal, and then how long is the processing application, okay, for that particular journal. So in this situation, for example, okay, you can look for journal citation reports, or JCR. So basically, JCR is listed in under Web of Science or Web of Knowledge database. So you can look for high impact publication, okay, that is listed, okay, inside their database. Okay, you also can go to Schemago Journal and Country Rank, okay, SJR, or you also can go to Scopus to compare sources of the particular journals that you want to submit, okay, for your publication. So if I can show you today on the example of the platform, okay, that we can target, okay, for our journal publication. So basically, um, okay, this is the example of the platform that we can look for, okay, in terms of the Web of Science. So you can sign in, you can sign up, or you can just register, or you can go to RMC website, okay, in this location. Okay, you can go to RMC website, and then at the bottom of the website, okay, basically you will see these quick links. So these are the platform that you can click, so that you can look for the best journals that we can use, okay, in order for us to submit the paper so that it can be reviewed, okay, by the reviewer. So let's say if I click on the Web of Science, okay, in this location. So once you enter your username and password, okay, for example, and then you are going to be directed, okay, in this platform. So basically, this is the platform, and then you can search for any journals papers that is listed under Web of Science. So basically, WOS, it is the index publication list, which is required by your ITN for us to publish, okay, in that particular platform. And then if you click on this Kimago journal and country rank, okay, it will lead you to this platform or to this website, and then you type in the journal that you want to target, either it's listed or not, or you can use these subject areas, so that you can see whether this particular journal is listed, okay, under Q1, Q2, Q3, and also Q4, or there is no level of that particular journal, but it is listed as focus. So basically, in this example that I have done earlier, okay, I choose sports science in this section. Okay, I choose sports science in this section, and then once you click enter, and then it will give you the numbers of lists that you can look for, so that you can target, okay, your publication, okay, where you want to submit the particular papers, for example. So you can see the numbers of papers that listed in Q1. Okay, there are many papers in Q1, and then there are many papers in Q2, and then the list goes until, okay, Q3, okay, over here, and also Q4. So basically, if you involve with sports science study, if you involve with sports management study, you can browse, okay, based on the subject categories, and then you can see, okay, what is the best, okay, for you in order to submit, so that your paper can be processed, okay, by the editor and also by the reviewer, okay, in that particular situation. Right. If we can come back, okay, to this presentation. So when you have finished writing the paper, for example, okay, you have to look for the best journal, okay, that related, okay, to your topic, okay, related to your content and so on. Okay, basically this journal can be looked through Journal Citation Report. Okay, you also can look through Schemago, and you also can look through Scopus, okay, so that you can see, okay, what is the quality of that particular paper, for example. And then in certain situation, okay, it's better for you to look for journals that have DOI number. So basically every paper will have DOI number. So basically this DOI number, okay, will provide a link, okay, to your paper, and then it will ensure that your paper is discoverable, okay, by the reader and so on. Okay, when you want to publish our paper, for example, okay, we also have to think that, okay, either that paper will be open access or not open access. So basically for those who are open access, basically, okay, there are certain fees, okay, there are certain fees, certain publication fees or article processing charge, okay, that we have to pay, okay, in that particular situation in order for us to submit or in order for us to publish, okay, in that journal and so on. So point number 5 and point number 6. So you have to look carefully. Okay, either this journal is an open access or not open access, or either that particular journal requires certain fees that is required when, okay, the paper is being accepted. So basically, we also have to avoid, okay, the predatory journal that really makes money, okay, from our hard work, for example. So maybe you can look through in the internet, okay, what is the example of the predatory journal, so that we are so that we can avoid, okay, at the first place. Maybe during the first time we want to submit the paper for publication, okay, we have to look for the particular journal first, and then when we notice that the journal that we want to publish, that we want to submit is not listed in the predatory journal, and then we can proceed, okay, with the submission. So in the Faculty of Social Recreation, okay, the dean itself very encourage us to produce a very good paper, and then there are certain incentive and there are certain rewards by UiTM basically, and also there are certain fees that if you submit papers for publication, okay, based on the penyelidikan that was come up in the mid of 2020 last year, okay, we don't have to worry about the publication fees, because of the fees uh, can be paid, okay, by the faculty. So basically, okay, these are the process. For example, okay, once you finish your research writing, okay, when you are ready with your paper, for example, you have to look for the best paper that can give impact, okay, to your citation, that can give impact to your research, that will lead to a very good citation number, okay, for that particular paper and so on. Okay, you can look for database, okay, make sure, okay, the journal have DOI number, and then you have to consider whether it is open access or not, and then you also have to think whether you have the money to pay or you don't have the money, but the faculty will assist you in paying the fees, okay, for that particular journal. Right, now we are moving forward, moving towards paper submission. So basically, when you are ready with the paper, and then you also knows that, okay, let's say this paper I want to submit to journal ABC, for example. So make sure your title is good. Okay, make sure your title is concise and make sure your title is clear. So when the reader reads the title, it can uh, take them, okay, towards your research, for example. Okay, means that your title is not ambiguous, for example. The title is not clear. So try to avoid that. Make sure you can produce a very good title which is simple but impactful. And then you also have to carefully choose the keywords that you want to include, okay, within your abstract. Okay, basically when we submit our paper to uh, publisher, okay, the publisher requests us to put certain keywords. So these keywords are the things that, okay, let's say if I want to look for the paper in the Google Scholar, basically I will put that particular keywords. So make sure your keywords, okay, is very impactful also. So that once you type in your keyword, okay, once you include your keywords in that particular paper, okay, once it's published, it can be easily discoverable by all audiences, okay, in that particular sense. And then, okay, maybe there is some tips over here. Okay, when you key in the keywords, okay, when you want to key in the keywords, make sure the keywords, okay, is included, okay, in your text, okay, for multiple times. So it means that once the editor reads your paper, okay, once the reviewer reads your paper, okay, they will direct their attention, okay, to the keywords, and then they will think that this paper is very meaningful, okay, to that particular keywords, okay, in that particular situation. So when, let's say, when your paper is published, okay, the readers also will read these keywords multiple times, okay, in your paper. So and then it will lead to a very impactful research, okay, publication, okay, that sense. So you can include the keywords, okay, inside your abstract, and then you also can include the keywords inside your text, okay, that particular sense. Okay, if we move into point number 3, okay, suitable references. So basically, when we produce a very good research paper, okay, we also make sure that, okay, we have a very good references. Okay, sometimes, okay, in journal publication, okay, in a journal publication, okay, let's say in journal A, okay, sometimes journal A, okay, they want certain references that is listed in journal A. So you have to look for that particular trend. Okay, sometimes, okay, the journal doesn't care which journal that you refer, okay, but it have to be in a very impactful manner. So it means that, okay, you have to choose a very suitable references for your paper. Maybe you can cite papers which is very impactful, let's say in Q1 paper, Q2 and so on, or maybe you want to cite papers from my site journal, for example. It's not wrong. So you have your own choice to put citation, but you have to make sure that, okay, the references is suitable, okay, to your title, references is suitable to your text, and researchers, the references is also suitable, okay, to the research that you are trying to portray. So basically, okay, when your paper is submitted to publisher, okay, the editor will check, and then the editor will think that this paper is good, and then the editor will send the manuscript to reviewer. So basically, the reviewer will look through all details, the title, the abstract, okay, the introduction, the methods, okay, the results, and then the references and so on. And then when they look into the references, okay, sometimes we did some technical errors. Okay, if we use EndNote or we use Mendeley, for example, okay, we click the wrong references. So this also sometimes can uh, can give a very bad impact, okay, for us as a researcher. Means that we doesn't choose the suitable references. Let's say if you want to write in this topic, for example, but you put references in a very different topic which is not related, okay, and then it also will jeopardize, okay, the quality of the paper. Okay, if you think that this paper is related to your uh, content, for example, okay, you have to know how to write a very good justification to link between paper A that listed in your references and then to your particular paper that you want to publish. So that's why over here, basically you have to choose a very suitable references that can provide a very good impact, okay, to the paper that you want to publish. Okay, if we move to point number 4, okay, uh, what is the step, okay, in order for us to increase this visibility, okay, when you want to submit paper means that your paper is ready, okay, and then you have to make sure that, okay, you key in the correct main author, corresponding author, for example, and then you also key in the correct uh, sequence of the paper, for example, and then you also have to make sure that, okay, your name format is correct also. Let's say for me myself, okay, I always use Hasan, H, but okay, for my profile, okay, in the particular paper. So basically, Okay, once I use this format, okay, every time I publish paper, okay, it will direct to my profile, okay, either in Google Scholar, either in Scopus database and so on. So make sure, okay, if we ourselves as the main author or if we ourselves as the corresponding author, okay, sometimes we maintain, okay, the similar name format. But we have to be very careful, okay, when we become the co-authors of the paper, of the article paper. So make sure you as the co-author, you have to make sure your name format is correct. So that you have to inform your main author. So make sure you use this name format so that every time when I become a co-author and then the paper is published later on, okay, it will direct the paper into my profile, either in OKID, in Pablos, in Scope, and so on. So sometimes in a certain journal, they request the correct name format, and then they also request for us to provide our ORCID ID. So make sure you register with ORCID ID, and then every time you submit for submission, okay, you submit the same ORCID ID. Okay, because sometimes we forgot the password. Okay, sometimes we produce different profile in ORCID ID, and then you have a multiple database or you multiple profile. So every time you publish, and then the paper is not directed to your original profile, for example. And then it's also good to include the standard institutional affiliation. So let's say we as a lecturer in the Faculty of Sports and Recreation, okay, in University Technology Mara, okay, you have to type in the correct name of our university. So basically, before this, okay, most of the researchers use different kind of affiliation. Okay, sometimes they use Mara University of Technology. Okay, sometimes they use University Technology of Mara. So this will produce a very low visibility to our UITM, okay, as our employer, for example. So make sure when you want to submit the paper, okay, you have to know, okay, which are the correct name, okay, of our institution. Okay, make sure you use University Technology Mara because of our UITM have their own database, either in Scopus, in the Scholar, so that okay, the paper that we publish, okay, can produce a very good impact in terms of citation and visibility, so that it can be used in any ranking process that UITM is going to attempt to. Okay, either in QSO ranking, either in Myra, PHUS, and so on. So these are some of the information that I can share with you regarding, okay, how does we are going to produce paper submission. Okay, next, if I can proceed, okay, now we are moving into when you have published the paper. So it means that you have done your initial process on writing, okay, you have done your process of getting collaboration, for example, and then you also know where is your target journal, you submit, and then alhamdulillah it was accepted, and then now it becomes a very important part on how to promote, okay, our paper, for example. Okay, means that you have to know, okay, how to market the paper so that it can increase visibility, and also it can increase the number of citation. So means that once you know how to promote, okay, it will attract audiences to look and also to read and also to download and also to cite your paper. So basically, okay, there are numbers of platform that you can use. Okay, either first you can share in the social media. Okay, basically you can share in Twitter, Facebook, ResearchGate, etc. And also you have to include the paper that you published recently in the Google Scholar, and then put in Mendeley, Pablos, Kudos, and so on. So the list continues. So it's good for us as a researcher not only to have Google Scholar database. Okay, it's better for us to also have profiling in ResearchGate. Okay, so that we can share, okay, the knowledge to other audiences. So basically, if I want to share my experience using Twitter and also using Facebook. So basically, for Facebook user, So basically for Facebook user, okay, it's good to deliver or it is good platform to share information to local, okay, to local audiences in Malaysia, okay, for example. Okay, because of if you want to go to international, okay, it's better to use Twitter. So basically, most of the well-known researchers, okay, in the world, okay, they are using Twitter in order to promote, okay, what they are doing. Okay, let's say they are going to start with project A, so they tell us, okay, this is project A that I'm going to do in this month, for example. Okay, when he got the data, so he mentioned in his Twitter, this is the data that I got. How I can improve with this situation. Okay, once they have write paper, they have the manuscript, they want their followers, okay, who also a researcher, okay, give some feedback before he or she send the paper to publication. So that's the process basically. So in my opinion, okay, if you use Facebook, okay, it's better for local. Okay, if your friends, most of them are in Malaysia, for example, and then if you want to go to international platform, it's better to use Twitter to promote, okay, your research. Basically, you can look for every well-known researcher in the world within your field, and you try to type their name in Twitter. So most, I can say the majority of the lead researcher in the world, they have their Twitter account. So every day they promote what they are doing. So it means that we can follow them, and then we also can ask them some question, okay, without email them straight away. So these are the use of social media. Okay, we can use Facebook, okay, we can use Twitter, and then I think most of you here, okay, have your own research gate. So basically your research gate, you have to make sure you have to update, okay, every time what are the project you are doing, for example. Okay, when you have published the paper, okay, you also can share the paper inside the certificate, okay, if the paper is open access. Okay, what happens, for example, if your paper is not open access, okay, there are certain ways that you can still promote your paper. Basically, for those papers who are not open access, okay, the researcher will have to pay for that particular paper. Okay, in this situation, maybe you can share the draft of your paper before you send for publication. So it is a good way also for you to promote, okay, what is the final draft, okay, of your paper before you send for publication. So these are some of the example that I can share with you regarding how to share your research in the social media. Basically, nowadays in UITM, the RMC of UITM, okay, we try to promote every papers that was published in Q1 and Q2, for example. Okay, they will promote the paper in terms of making an infographic like this. So this is the example of infographic, okay, by our staff in UiTM, okay, Dr. Shariman Ismail. Now he's based in Japan. He's coming back soon to Malaysia to resume his duties as lecturer. So basically, Dr. Shariman here has published papers in Q1 paper, and then the way to promote the paper is that the RMC took some information regarding that publication, and then they come up with the infographic. So that in that particular infographic, when we read the infographic, we can have some direct information. So what is all about? So you can see the title here. So we also can see the result based on the graph, and then we also can see what are the key points, okay, that can be direct the audience so that the audience can have a direct information. Okay, what is the paper is all about? So these are the things that we can use in order to promote visibility of that particular infographics. So I think that's okay. Can you see the slide that I'm presenting right now? Can you see the slide? Okay, the infographic is on the on the right side of the.
Tak ada.
Tak ada, tak ada.
Tak nampak infographic?
Tak ada. Hanya JCR je.
JCR saja. Okay, sorry ya, saya try buat ini sekali. Okay, I think I have to stop sharing first.
Okay.
Okay, stop sharing, and then I think I have to share again the slide that I want to share with all of you. Sorry for the technical error. Okay, can you see the slide now?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if I can go back. Okay, these are the slides that I presented just now regarding starting your research. Okay, during your research, let's say what are the platform that you can use, and then which conferences that you have to go, either locally or internationally, for example. Okay, these are the example of the technical report that I produced during my studies. So basically, the company used the technical report and then they included, okay, that information inside their brochure. So this will increase the impact of the research of what we are doing in that particular situation. And then when we move into where to publish, you can see there are certain platform that we can look for, okay, to consider our application. Okay, we can go to JCR, we can go to Schemago, or we can go direct to Scopus. Okay, look for the Scopus in that journal, for example, and then make sure the paper that we're going to publish, the journal itself, okay, have the capabilities to produce DOI, for example, and then you have to make sure whether the paper will be open access or not. And then you also have to consider the publication fees of that particular paper. And then when we move into paper submission, make sure your title is clear. Okay, choose a very good keywords and then prepare a very good references. Okay, consistent in your name format, and then you also have to maintain, okay, the affiliation that was provided by the university. And then now I think we move into this slide. Okay, after your publication, it's better for you to share in the social media. And then it's also better for you to produce infographic. I think for this year, in 2021, okay, maybe the faculty will introduce our own infographic. Means that every time you publish a paper, okay, whether it's Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, or just index, for example, or you publish in my site, ERA, and so on. Okay, we try to come up with infographic. Means that, okay, this is the example of the infographic that was produced by RMC. We can use the similar format. We just change the little bit in terms of the formatting, for example. Okay, once you publish the journal, you inform to me or to Rahana, for example, and then we will give you the template, okay, of the infographic, and then you just copy what you wrote in the paper, and then you send to the PGI team, and then we try to post it in our Facebook so that it can increase your research visibility. It also will help you as a researcher. It maybe helps other specific person, okay, that involved in that sports that you do the research, for example. So the impact maybe will comes to you as a researcher. It also will give benefits, okay, for those who read your infographic. So this will lead them to try to access, okay, the full paper of your publication. So this is example of the infographic that was produced by RMC. Okay, this infographic is from Dr. Sharifah Ismail, okay, with his supervisor. Okay, next, okay, once you have published, okay, sometimes the journal the publisher, okay, uh, they sign up with um, platform, okay, that the basically this platform, for example, Altimetrics, okay, Plum X Metric, for example, okay, this is the platform that track, okay, how many download of your paper, okay, how many shares of your paper in Twitter, for example. You can see the numbers based on this Altimetric and also Plum X Metric. So certain reputable publisher, okay, because of they want to increase, okay, the impact of the papers that was published with them, okay, they sign up with this Altimetric platform so that the literature and the journal itself can track. Okay, let's say this paper A, okay, attract how many uh, readers, for example. Okay, they will see how many readers for this particular paper, and they also can see how many download, okay, of that particular paper. Okay, when this paper is mentioned in Twitter, for example, they also can see how many person retweet that particular information. So this is some example that I can share with you, okay, regarding the paper that I produced in 2016. It is known as, the paper is entitled Compression and Texture in Socks, okay, increase football skill performance. So this is example of the plum X metric, okay, that was signed up by this journal, Human Movement Science. So basically, okay, in order for that particular journal to increase the visibility of of this paper, so me as a researcher, so me as the author of this particular paper, I also want to know, okay, how many citation, okay, of this paper, for example. Okay, how many person has captured this information, and then how many times, okay, this particular information was being mentioned in the social media. So you can see the details here, citation number, how many, for example, is focus and so on, and then how many readers captures this information in Mendeley, schools and so on, and then how many person have mentioned my paper, okay, in Twitter. So every time I look to this matrix, I can know, okay, whether my paper is visible or not, and I also can know whether my paper is impactful, okay, basically to sports performance, basically to maybe to other association that want to know, okay, the impact of using this material to sports skill performance, for example. So these are the things that me as a researcher that I want to know whether my output is being uh, taught, okay, by the others. So that's why, okay, some of the reputable journal or publisher, they sign up with this platform, and then we as a researcher can know, okay, the visibility of this particular paper, okay, for example. Okay, this some information that I can share with you. Let's say how many times this particular paper was tweeted in Twitter, for example, and then if I want to look through what are they saying about this paper, so I can see, okay, what they wrote, okay, inside the Twitter. So if sometimes I want to provide some additional information, I just click their names and then I can send some messages to them in that particular situation. All right. I think during my role as the Deputy Dean of Research and also Industrial Relation, okay, when I took up this post, okay, the first step that I introduced to the faculty is that, okay, we come up with the special interest group, okay, of every fields that you work with. So basically, maybe for those who are from FSR United Alam, okay, you have your own groups. Okay, for those who doesn't have your own group yet, okay, maybe you have to look for the leader of the particular group and then try to be the member of the particular SIG. So if you yourself don't have Facebook account, if you also don't have Twitter, you are very shy to promote on your own, you try to work in your SIG. So it means that you also can provide some info to your SIG group, and then your SIG group can promote your particular research, for example. So this the use of social media once again, so that it can be a useful platform to us, so that we can work in a team, and then we also can use this platform freely, so that it can increase the research visibility of any research work that we are going to produce in a particular situation. So this is example of the front page of my special interest group, okay, skill acquisition. So I come up with this Facebook group. So every time we in the team, they come up with a new impact, with a new publication, for example, okay, I will promote it inside this platform. So if I also want to provide some overview of any papers that not from us, okay, I will try to also provide some feedback on that particular research paper in that sense. So basically, the use of the team itself also can help you if you are very shy to promote on your own. Okay, you can ask your team to promote on behalf of you. Okay, for example. Right. Then, sorry, we are coming to the end of the first topic regarding how to increase research visibility. And then basically what I have been talking just now regarding where to publish, how to choose the best journal publisher, for example. Okay, this is my references for my presentation for today. Okay, basically I based on my experience, okay, based on the meeting that I went to RMC, for example, and also based on my readings. So these are the things that we can share, okay, today regarding how to increase research visibility, okay, for us as a researcher in FSR. All right, I will stop here first. Okay, I will stop here first. And then if you have any question that you want to ask, okay, maybe we can open for Q&A. And then before we proceed into discussion on how to increase research collaboration, okay, among FSR researchers. Right. Okay, kalau let's say if I can read some question over here. MTSSR dah listed in ERA. So boleh kira penerbitan berindeks kalau publish in MTSSR. Okay, MTSSR. Okay, Alhamdulillah. And also tahniah to MTSSR. Okay, especially to Dr. Tan. And then because of MTSSR is already listed in my site. And also now it's listed in ERA. So MTSSR can be considered for index publication. So basically, we can attempt publication in this journal, and then nowadays, currently the journal publish two issues in 1 year. Okay, 2 issues per year. Right. Okay, if you have any question that you want to ask before we proceed to discussion afterwards. Okay, okay, my next not a presentation but more to discussion. For example, I need some valuable feedback, okay, from the participants in order how to increase research collaboration and publication among FSR researchers. So basically, when we move into this discussion, okay, okay, first of all, in FSR Shah Alam, we have come up with a numbers of special interest group. So basically, this SIG is used uh, to promote collaboration among FSR researchers, and then you can work as a team. And then you also can look for potential collaboration other than faculty and then other than UiTM. And then for your information, for those who are not from FSR Shah Alam, okay, UiTM Perlis, FSR Perlis also have their own RIG. Okay, why they are known as RIG? Because of these are the procedures that was set by UiTM Perlis. So they are using the RIG term. So basically, they have about 4 RIG groups that we can follow. Okay, sport coaching, physical activity, health science, sport tourism, and so on. And then based on the slide, we can see the leader of every RIG groups and also the team members. Okay, for FSR, UiTM Police. So hopefully, okay, hopefully for those who are from Jengkel, from Negeri Sembilan, and also from Sarawak, also can come up, okay, with either SIG in your own campus, or you can also propose to your TRAC research so that you can come up with your own RIG, okay, based on the preference of your campus, okay, for example. So basically, in the next slide, okay, we are going to discuss a little bit regarding how we want to increase research collaboration among FSR researchers. So hopefully, for those who are from other campus, hopefully for those who are from Arau, from Jengker, from Seremban, and also from Sarawak, okay, we can actively discuss over here so that I can take note. And then these are the things that we can do so that we can increase the numbers of publication, okay, for this year 2021. So maybe these are some strategies that we can attack. For example, okay, we can work together in order to apply grant application. Okay, either you're going to apply for internal grants, national grant, or international grant. So basically, what I know from RMC is that, okay, certain grant, let's say internal grant or UATM grant, is only offered to certain campus. Okay, let's say, for example, Lestari, GIP, and so on, is only offered to Shah Alam. Okay, for those who are from Arab, from Jemper, you are not allowed to apply, okay, as the main applicants, okay, for this particular unit. So maybe in terms of how to increase research collaboration, so at the first step, okay, maybe we can invite, okay, other collaborators in the grant application, especially on the local grant or internal grant that every campus have come up. Okay, let's say for Lestari, for those who are from Lanka, can collaborate with those are from Shah Alam to be as a team member, okay, inside the grant application. And then maybe I'm suggesting that we are moving forward to have annual colloquium, okay, that involve all campuses, okay, like this. Let's say in the FSR Research Week, okay, if you can see the poster that we come up, okay, we invited speakers from all campus, from Arau, from Jengker, from Bismillah, and also from Sarawak, but not forgotten from Shah Alam. So maybe in terms of colloquium, okay, we can organize it annually, and then maybe we can organize it virtually, for example, because of you attract more viewers, okay, for example. And then in terms of joint paper publication, okay, the interaction between junior and also senior academic staff. So basically, for those who are senior, okay, you have a very vast experience in terms of writing, in terms of publication. So maybe you can become a mentor, okay, to the junior academic staff. So maybe these are some of the strategies. And then, okay, just to inform that, okay, uh, for those who are not from FSR Shah Alam, so basically in FSR Shah Alam, okay, we have come up with journal processing fee reimbursement. Okay, means that if you have submitted in any journal publication and then your journal is published, whether it's Q1, Q2, or Scopus Index, okay, you can claim, okay, that fee that you pay for the publication fees. Okay, in that sense, okay, for those who are from Arab, from Jengker, from Sarawak, and so on, okay, if you have a very good paper, but you have less amount of budget, but your intention is very high, means that you want to publish a very impactful journal publication. Maybe you can work together with researchers from Shah Alam. Okay, you invite his or her, you or he, you invite them to become your team member. And then we can use the budget from Professor Shah Alam to fund your journal processing fees, okay, in a sense. So maybe you can try to think about it. Okay, try to go through into FSR profile, staff profile. Okay, who will be your collaborators? Okay, when you want to produce your research article, for example, maybe you can invite them, okay, to become one of your team members, and then you can ask them to be your corresponding author. You become the first author, and then he or she will try to get the budget from the faculty over here, inshallah. Okay, maybe this is the last strategies, okay, that we can think of. Okay, every time that we produce, okay, papers publication, okay, we can promote in FSR website, we can promote in FSR Facebook. Okay, we also can produce infographic so that everyone can have some information on how to get the information on how to produce a very important paper, and also how to get citation, okay, for that particular journal that we produce. All right, I think that's all for discussion for today. Okay, now we are open. Okay, now we are open for some maybe you have some feedback so that I can take note, and then maybe your feedback is very valuable for me to put into consideration on what we can do this year so that we can increase the numbers of collaboration between FSR campuses, and also in order for us to increase the numbers of publication among us. Right, if any one of you have some information that we can share, you can open up your mind, you can turn on your mind, and then we can have some uh, meaningful discussion among audience for today. Anyone? All right, I think we have some question here from Chibat. Who to contact to match our area of research with international or local partners? So for Chibat, you can contact me or the Rehana to look for your matching partners, either internationally or local partners, or you can direct to Dr. Rehana because of she's in charge with research uh, research works in our faculty, and then we can try to get a match for your research. Thank you, Jabat, for the question. Can we be in more than one SIG? Yes, you can be at least in two SIG. As a member. You can be in two SIG maximum. Right, thank you, Jabat. I think that's all for today. For your time. Basically, the webinar session in our FSR Research Week. Will continue tomorrow morning. So hopefully all of you can inform your colleague in your campuses so that we can actively engage every one of us in the webinar session, and then we also can get some valuable feedback based on your, maybe you have some question, you have some comments to faculty, for example, so that we can use that particular feedback to towards the betterment of us as a teacher, and also towards the betterment of the faculty itself in terms of administration and so on. So I want to say thank you to all the participants for today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dr.
All right, don't forget to send in your attendance so that we can key in your data inside the latihan. And then with that all, thank you again for your participation. And then I will see you guys maybe tomorrow in another webinar session. Right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Tak tangkap gambar.
Semua tutup kamera tak apa?
Ya, sure.
Tak apa, tak apa. Right, thank you. Jumpa esok.
Thank you very much.
Tapi ambil masa lama sikit.